Hey, I'm back. I don't know if anybody's going to come back with me or not, but I've got Jonezer invited. He will be here shortly. So that's what's going on. It was pretty tough. My with OBS open, Ninja open, and all the other shit open, everything just froze. And I had the computer had been rebooted and everything. All right, Jonezer's here, so let me get Jonezer up here. Hey, guy, what's going on, man?
Who, me?
Yeah, I mean we're live. If nobody's here, but we're actually we're live. We're on the air.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, we are here, folks. I don't know if anybody's
found it.
paying any attention to us or not, but here we be.
Fine. It is what it is. You got me watching.
Yeah. All right, I got the studio open now, and I'll put us over here. All right, there we go. So, if anybody actually shows back up to see us, we can talk to them and stuff. There won't be any memes of the week. There won't be any fucking commercials or shit. Everything went to crap. So,
yeah, it was kind of funny. We got George Valentine.
There's George Valentine. What's going on, George? Glad to see you.
It was kind of wild on my end because let me see if I can fix my camera. I can see the feed now. So we're just gonna get all kinds of professional here.
Yeah. Hey, welcome back there, Jeff. So what I'm doing now, if you guys are wondering, you can see in the corner. I guess over there in that corner, you see it says StreamYard. That's what I had to do. I had to go to StreamYard in order to get Jonezer in here with me. I don't pay for StreamYard, so I can't do any cool stuff like I can on OBS over here. All me and Jonezer can do is just sit here and talk to each other.
But you know what, though? We actually can sit here and talk to each other well without stuttering, videoing, blurring. So, yeah, you're not going to get the memes. You're not going to get the weird, fantastic toy show that you all are used to. But you're going to be able to actually hear us interact with each other in real time without problems here. So, I'm sure we'll be able to entertain in our own fashion. I will say that Dr. Octopus, he's mad, dude. Oh, you cursed Spider-Man and the technical difficulties in your babble. Oh, I'll get you.
Yeah, it was pretty tough, guys. And Jonezer heard me say some profanity.
Oh, Bill Proper lost his shit, which was fine because it happens. But it was funny from my end because as soon as the show hit go, he paused, and then I got treated to this. You were stuck like this.
Yeah.
It was like the worst way like you could be. It was like the most awkward pause. And then for a little while I could hear you, but they were saying they couldn't, and then you were just gone.
And yeah, well, I got Rick over here with a screen grab of me doing that, and he goes, "All I saw was this. It scared me. I thought a good friend was gone." Yeah. I was there for a minute. There was nothing I could do.
All we could do is laugh, but the frustration is real. Because we try to, and it was funny because I was even telling them how meticulously we were planning the show and planning the breaks. And I was like, I even got a little irritated at Bill, his little fucking robo assistant, trying to button up the show and whatnot. And then it's like all that plan went right out the freaking window as soon as we hit play because, life happens when you're making other plans.
It do. But you know what? Part of the plan is still going to have to work because we are going to talk about what we were planning on talking about for the main segment. We're just not going to have any music and fun and no memes of the week and no vintage commercials today.
Right. So as Queen says, show must go on.
Always. And unfortunately, the special emojis don't show up on the StreamYard like they do with the chat ninja. So thank you, Susudio, for coming back and joining us. What are we talking about today, folks? We're talking about life updates, things that are going on in our lives. Me personally, I've got a lot going on at work as we transition from one owner to another one. And as we're trying to get caught up on some work that we're behind on because of some machine issues, I will probably, I will probably have to work a little extra, and I may even be working a different shift for a little while as they start a temporary swing shift. And if that starts, then I won't be able to do the things that I've been doing before in the times that I do them, if that makes any sense. And I don't know what my weekends are going to be like because they're talking about overtime, but our new plant manager is like, well, I don't want to overwork you guys. You know, he sees us as human beings, which is, that's weird because the others don't. So anyway, he says, look, I don't want to overwork you guys. So I'm going to give you a choice between working 10 hours a day for 5 days a week or working 8 hours a day for 5 days a week and then working 8 hours on Saturday. Not going to do both. So if I have to work on Saturdays, which I'm already doing that anyway, I had today off because he wanted to let us rest. But when they get that braze machine back running, we're going to be going full speed. So there's going to be that. So, and then, you've got some issues. I don't know if you want to talk about them all or not, but Attorney in Ellipse is here. I haven't seen him in a while. I heard 2 questions asked. New directions, what's next? Sounds like 2 relatable questions on my end. For right now, nobody knows. Nobody knows. Stay tuned, by the way. Hello, I've missed you all. Good to see you, sir. Glad you come in and said hey to us. But anyway, transitioning to Jonezer. So, Jonezer, what's been going on with you, my friend?
Well, on the other stream, I was starting to say, basically, I was making a joke about it. I am dusting off the old resume, and we're going to be trying something new. So I basically, not getting too in the weeds. I don't want to bury the company that I'd worked for 23 years because they weren't all bad years. But we parted ways. I mean, you could tell the classic cliche joke, like, did he get fired or did he quit? And, well, you can't quit. I fired you. Well, you can't fire me. I quit. Or however it went. It wasn't really all that ugly. We just basically agreed to part ways. So I've been doing some, soul searching and job hunting, dusted off the old resume. I haven't had to look for a job in 22, 23 years. So
I'm going to interrupt him here because this is what I'm going to say. You heard him disparage Lexi. That's okay, Jonezer. But I will give you a secret. He used the same thing to make his fucking resume.
Oh yeah. The robots are taking over. I mean, pretty soon it's just all going to be, smartphones and dumb people if we're not already there. But
we're already there.
I mean, pretty soon, what's it like Wally? They're gonna give me my chair, and I'll just be fat, and then I don't even need to walk no more. I can just float in my chair to the whatever thing. They'll park me in front of my TV and feed me like cheese out of a bottle or something.
That's squishy.
Yeah, there'll probably be like some kind of toilet facility in the chair, so I don't even need to get up.
Yeah, in the chair, so you don't have to get up. That reminds me of I don't know, South Park when they were playing the video games and they had the griefer there that was giving them grief every time they got in there. So they decided to go in the woods and kill wolves and grind for a little while, but they had to do it 24/7. And Cartman's in there playing the game. He goes, "Mom, I gotta go, Mom." She comes in with
the poop,
shits in it,
hitting her in the face. Yeah. But yeah, that's basically my life update. Is I'm just we're seeing what's next for Jonezer. which I onwards and upwards. I'm gonna tell you guys that I'm gonna get a little inspirational here, even though I don't have a lot of life experience of moving from job to job or thing to thing, because I'm kind of a plant my feet and stay loyal and stay at a place for a long time kind of guy. But don't be afraid.
Years is kind of loyal and planting feet. I don't see anything wrong with leaving after 25 fucking years.
No, but I mean, you can't. Here's the thing. I was in a cycle there where it wasn't. I wasn't getting any fulfillment or joy out of it anymore. It was turning into where it was time. It was time to go, you know, and somebody needed to stop the bleeding. You know, maybe you could say it was them or it was me or whatever. But I was gonna say to people, don't be afraid to try new things or to get away from something or do something. Almost every single person I know in every situation, when they go from somewhere to somewhere else, they usually fall upwards. And or even you watch the total screw ups, they fail upwards. You know, it's actually kind of amazing to watch that. You know, and there's just so much opportunity out there. There's so many different tools now with Indeed and LinkedIn and ways to search for another job. I think there was a time, like when we're talking Great Depression, where the pressure was on the worker to convince the employer to hire them. Now I feel like it's flipped. I feel like now the pressure is on the employer to convince the worker that this is a decent place to work at and is worthy of your time, because there are just so many other opportunities to get. It's not like I mean, I sit there and I click boom on the internet and freaking 50 listings just hit me. You know, and then if you got a car and you can drive and you can go move around, say you're going to go, you know, within an hour of where you live, good God, thousands of listings, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So the pressure's on them to convince you that you're worth going in there. And I find it funny when you hear these companies and they'll be like, well, I don't want people who would come in here just for the money. What other reason would I come here for? Because I like
literally it. That's the only reason why we work, is because we want to make goddamn money, right? To live, to pay our bills, to support our family. Come on.
Right. This is a business relationship. Now, don't get me wrong, because again, I'm not trying to knock the place I was at. There was like a family, you know, and so that does happen. You do get to jobs where we're a family here, you know, and I did feel that there, you know, and then they were there, but at the end of the day, it's a business relationship, and I felt like it wasn't panning out for either party, and it was just time to cut the string.
Part them old ways and say, time for us to go our separate ways. But it happens. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I hate it when jobs call to try to make out like there's some kind of freaking family. Not a family. You can't fire your brother.
You sure can.
He's going to be well, you can, but he's still your freaking brother.
You just might make Thanksgiving awkward, but you can sure fire your brother.
When you get fired from work, you're excommunicated. You're not part of the family anymore. You're gone.
Right.
What? You don't want to work just to be friends with the boss? Hell no. Not working for social camaraderie. No, we're working to make some freaking money, man.
Pay the mortgage, feed the kids, buy the toys. You know, we got to
buy toys. Now, see that kind of segs us into this. So we're shifting in our collecting. I know I am. I'll start first. I'm kind of burned out on Masters of the Universe. I love what I have. Don't get me wrong. I play with what I have. I display with what I have. I'm not looking and getting anything new. I'm not buying drag store. Sorry, guys. And the cartoon collection, I know a lot of you guys are really into that. I'm not there for it. I like it. I might get a couple of figures here or there, but yeah, I see you've got a vintage drag store there. But and then the superpowers is the other one that I was big into collecting here in the last few years. I'm sorry, but I don't think McFarlane's going to do too much more. If he is, it's going to be just a couple of figures here or there that he can use with the bucks he's already got. But I don't think that there, if anything, there might be one final wave coming, but I really don't think that there is. And I'll seg this over to you. How do you feel about those things? I mean, what are you doing there on your collecting end?
Well, as far as Dragster goes, maybe I'll get one, but now with my employment situation the way it is, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If I was to buy that new Dragster, I would probably open them up once, mess with them like once, and then put him over there. And you know what? He's already over there. I don't really see the need to get another one to put him over there that moves a little better. Because this guy, you know, he's got the old vintage movement, you know, so he don't have the cool new stuff. But I can't justify the expense to buy something I don't need that I already have that already serves the purpose I'm going to want it for. He's going to sit right over there in the fright zone and just stand there. Yeah. I don't need anything more than that. So, I'm going to have to agree with you, too, on the kind of Motu burnout. And this isn't new for me. I've felt the Motu burnout probably well over a year. And it's not that I don't love it. He-Man is life. He-Man is mother's milk. He-Man is my childhood. That I love it. But there's very little that I see coming that I'm even excited about or want. I do want a Masterverse Mantana. I'm interested for that. Outside of that, God, I can't really think of anything I need. I got another one of these cartoon collection pieces. I got, I think, Bo and Shadow Weaver coming, and I don't think I have anything else Masters of the Universe pre-ordered or on the radar other than that Mantana for New Eternia Masterverse coming out. The last He-Man stuff I bought was this Tila, which I haven't even opened it yet, and this Cobra Khan, which again I haven't even opened it yet because I've been kind of busy dealing with life as life happens, and I'm just not really that excited. So being you lose that Masters of the Universe excitement, you don't stop collecting toys. You just kind of move on to something that you're a little more excited about in the moment. So Bill, I'm going to switch back to you here. What have you found that has kind of filled that He-Man hole that He-Man ain't really tickling no more?
I'll get into that, and I'll answer that, but I'm going to go answer George here. Do you think it's an oversaturation issue? No, not in my case. I can't speak for Jonezer on that, but here's the thing. I have the Masters of the Universe that I wanted. There's not anything else that they're coming out with that's tickling me. I never got into the Masterverse stuff in the first place. The only reason that I was collecting Masters of the Universe Origins in the first place was because they looked like the toys I played with when I was a kid. They gave me the same vibe. They gave me the same nostalgia. And then I could buy the figures that I wished I had when I was a kid and play with them with the figures I already had if I needed to, or play with the toys I've already got, like the Battle Ram over here, the complete Battle Ram that they never released. I can use Origins and play with them with that, okay? So I was an Origins fan, and I've got, that's it right there. And look, there's Clamp Champ sitting on it. And there's no reason for me to get anything else. And I hate it, Jeff, but I've got a few of the cartoon collection. Don't get me wrong. I've got Cringer over here. I mean, he's cartoon, right? But I'm not into getting everything that's coming out cartoon collection. I'm not into getting what's left of the origins, and I'm certainly not into getting all these figures that were never done, all these snakes and all that crap. So yeah. George, it's 1988 all over again. I hear you there. Did Jonezer say his He-Man hole needs to get tickled? He did. He did say that.
I did.
Yeah,
I'm glad he
beautiful.
picked it up what I was throwing out there.
You caught that, didn't you, Hyperdelic? I was trying to ignore that, but here we go. Anyway, now going back to the question, dude. Am I still collecting toys? Why, hell yes, I am. And what am I collecting right now? Well, I'm in the process of trying to complete sets of Adventure People Fisher Price action figures. Now, what are they? Well, you guys should already know that because you should be watching my videos. But they were the action figures that came out before there were action figures in 3 3/4 inch size. 1975, Fisher Price introduced a set of action figures for older children. And Jonezer opened a drink there. But they got Jeeps and stuff like this in there, and they got outdoorsmen and forest rangers and people in boats exploring the ocean and deep sea divers and stuff like that. And it's a great line because I remember playing with those when I was a kid. And I can get the stuff I never had when I was a kid that I always wanted. And what's really nice about the Adventure People line is it's an affordable line to collect. It's not out of this world expensive. So George says I have a harder time burning out on stuff because I enjoy the hunt at yard sales and thrift stores for the original figures and meeting people that own them. Yeah, there you go. What is Rolo saying here? I give you that, Bill. There's something that really catches me, like the figures presentation of Battle Cat Man. I'm still in, but my motive is my childhood. Yeah. So, what are you transitioning into collecting, if anything at all, there, Joneser?
Well, for a while there, the Ninja Turtles stuff. I like the remastered ones, which to me is like almost Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Origins. The way I see
Right.
that, these new ones, that box set from Target there, the 6 figures, which I thought was really cool, was that Shredder and Splinter in there, and they took the bumps off the turtles and they fixed the head they had swapped in there, and so I like that. They got the classic reissues. I got the sewer play set. I missed the Foot Cruiser. I was a little bummed about that, and I've been on these Marvel Legends, which are freaking fantastic. I love these things. This Maximum Spider-Man was a lot of fun. Caught a lot of pieces. A lot of people were upset about the price point on these Maximum ones because they got all the extra pieces and stuff. This other Maximum one here, people didn't really like the head sculpts on the Hulk, but you get all these cool little extra bits, like which make them fun. But yeah, that price point is a little rough, especially in today's market. But I do think that toys prices are heading upwards. You were talking about those Fisher prices being affordable.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say Marvel Legends is not trending in the affordable direction. Especially some of those Gamerverse ones look really fun. Like I got the Thanos Psylocke 2-pack. I really kind of want that Captain America Venom 2-pack, and I think I pre-ordered that Punisher and Nick Fury, like the stand-up arcade game 2-pack. I think that just came available this weekend or later this week. I pre-ordered that. As far as like vintage stuff, I haven't really gotten anything for yesteryear that I'm really looking for because I've got most of everything from yesteryear that I was looking for already, with the exception of the crazy grail, like nobody's ever going to afford this item. I've got what I want. I mean, if you could see the pile sitting behind me, I mean, I've almost, kind of got one of everything that I want. It's going to take something special for me to get it. But it's like, when you look into that, like, okay, I've got that Spider-Man. I think I've got 6 Marvel Legends Spider-Mans, and every one of them's a little different, but they're all a lot of kind of samey too. I've got like 3 or 4 Wolverines. So like, and now they've got another Wolverine with that Silver Samurai. I kind of want that Silver Samurai. I sure the heck don't need another Wolverine. But that's kind of the game.
Well, I kind of warned you when you started the Marvel Legends. I said that's going to be a hole that you fall into. Oh, yep. No, it won't. I'm just getting this. Sure. Here. And I watched you as you transitioned over into Marvel Legends, and I hope you're enjoying that. I think it's a great line to collect. I can't do it because I can't fall in that hole. I got to keep focused on what I'm doing. And yet, yes, I do have a few Marvel Legends, folks, but I haven't bought anything new out of Marvel Legends in a while. I think the last thing I bought was that Fantastic Four set for $50 over there on Big Bad Toy Store.
Yeah, they're practically giving that away.
Well, that's true. I think I bought a Silver Surfer to go with them. So,
Right. The one thing I'd have to say though is, so I'm a comic guy. I mean, you probably heard that before.
Really?
So the Marvel Legends stuff kind of tickles that Marvel Legends hole that I enjoy. But my DC stuff, the DC stuff has been a tougher thing. And I know you're more of a DC guy, Bill. So I'm going to give you my take on this, the state of DC toys, and then I'm going to hand it over to you. But just so you can know where I'm coming from in my collecting for the DC stuff, because I love I'm not one of those like, you're either Marvel or you're DC. Like, I've never played that game. Even as a kid, I liked both. Now, was I partial to one or the other over the years from times? Yeah, but if you were to hold a gun to my head and say which comic characters are your 2 favorite, I'm going to say Spider-Man and Batman. Like that's where it's at. But for me, with the DC stuff, okay, I was getting on the superpowers because I already had some of those Toy Biz sized toys from the 90s. So I thought the new McFarlane, I know you don't like those, but I don't have any real superpowers.
I was laughing at what Briscoe said here. Jonezer has a lot of holes that he likes getting tickled.
Don't we all? But anyway, so those McFarlane reissues fit in the scale with those perfectly. So I thought this is going to be a great line. And I've already expressed my disappointment with how it went and what we got and what have you. And so then they've got these Super Friends ones. And I just happened to luck out, go to Walmart, and they had the whole aisle, the whole wave just sitting there. So I just scooped it up. And then I actually sold it because I have a little toy store. And then I saw it again. And so I scooped it up again. And I'd done that enough times where I was like, you know what, I'm going to keep a set. And so I did. I kept the set for me. And then I pre-ordered the next set. And I'm all excited about that. And then I hear the McFarlane lost the rights. It's going to Mattel. So we don't even know if we're even going to get any more of these. And so
there's at least 3 waves of them coming out that I know of, possibly a 4th wave. So yeah.
Well, and hopefully that'll have everybody I want. Like, I think I'm still looking for a Wonder Woman, and I'm hoping they'd get into like Grundy and Gorilla Grodd, and I'd be probably pretty happy.
I know the latest one thing that I saw was Zan and Jana and Gleek.
Yeah. I was excited about that. I know a lot of people don't like those characters, but that's part of my childhood. Wonder Twin powers activate. Form of bucket of water. Form of bird to dump said bucket of water.
I always wanted them in the Superpowers line.
Right.
But anyway, you talk about comics. I was able to get these recently, and this is the entire series of comics where the Supermobile first appeared. And I've been meaning to kind of do something about that, the Supermobile, because, McFarlane did release that, and he released the one that was from the comic, which they didn't do in the original line. They redesigned the whole thing, and it needs to look like this, and it needs to look kind of hokey and stupid like this. And there's a reason why it looks like this. Do you know why the Supermobile? The real world reason why the Supermobile was introduced in the comics.
I know you told me, but I do not know if your audience knows.
It was to sell a toy that was made by Corgi, a little die-cast metal toy. It was about the size of a Matchbox car. And Corgi had got a license from DC Comics. They did I think it was a news van, a newspaper van for the Daily Planet, and something else. I think a Metropolis police car, and they did the Supermobile, which looked like this, but it was a little kind of Matchbox car size. And they told DC Comics and said, "Now we're doing this. We want you to feature this in the comic book." So Julie Schwartz said, "Sure," because that's the way Julie Schwartz was. And Julie Schwartz went to Cary Bates, I think it was, and he said, "Okay, I want you to put the Supermobile in the comic. All right, thank go." So they had to come up with a story to introduce the Supermobile, and the story wasn't too bad. I mean, you think this is the silliest thing in the world, and why Superman needed a Supermobile? Well, what happens if a wave of red sun energy comes across the Earth and wipes out all Superman's powers? And at the same time, it wakes up the super robot Amazo, who has all the powers of all the members of the Justice League. And now he's running amok on the Earth, and Superman has no powers. Well, he goes to his Fortress of Solitude and gets in the Supermobile, which replicates all of his powers for him in case he ever loses them. And as Batman says in the comics, the Supermobile is made of a special metal, the hardest metal in the universe, called Supermanium.
Oh, you gotta love the comics of that era. I like that stuff, but that's just me.
I do too, and I think it's hilarious and fun, and yeah. So there you go. And everybody, I think Justin talking about the Super Friends figures being awesome. Yeah, I think they are too. I'm not going to collect them. I wished I'd gotten in on them when they were doing them in the when I think Mattel did them, and then here we have McFarlane doing them, and I'm still not in on them. But I chose superpowers. I stayed with it, and that's where I am. And
Sure.
now I'm collecting adventure people. So, I mean, that's how I'm doing it over here. I see how you're going over there. If you had to pick one toy line to collect, no matter what in life, what would it be, Jonezer?
Well, that's tough. That's tough because it's funny because okay, as a child, I went through. We started with He-Man, and then of course we got into the superheroes. Spider-Man and Superman and all that. And then the Turtles came out, and the Ghostbusters, and I was on that. And then the Dick Tracy stuff came out, and I was on that. And then I kind of hit those teenage years where I discovered, rock and roll music and girls and the Mary Jane and the different things were interesting me, and the toys wasn't the thing no more, and I kind of it all went away. Well, then later in life, when I got some adult money and decided I'm going to get back into collecting, I did the same thing. It was I think I saw the Toys That Made Us on Netflix, and so I started recollecting a vintage He-Man line. And then in the midst of that, Motu Origins hit, and then I got on the ground floor of that. And then it was funny. I did the same pattern. I had the superheroes, and then I got the Turtles, and then I got Dick Tracy. I didn't get any Ghostbusters. I guess that might be the next thing if I decide I've got room somewhere for some.
Yeah. That well,
Lyric collected them, so I guess I was good watching Lyric play with them.
I'm kind of there. I got these guys, and I don't need anything else but them. I'm happy with that. I did the WWE for a little while. I'm kind of out of that. I've got the Ghostbusters, and I've got all that stuff, and I've got the Masters Universe stuff. I've got the Superpower stuff. Now I'm kind of going back to childhood again. I mean, I did. I think I even did the Mego re-releases of Superman and Batman and Robin, and I think you got a Penguin here recently. Yeah, there he is. And he asked me if I needed it, and I said I'll need to look and see. And yeah, I got that. I've got all the Mego stuff I wanted. So I'm kind of going into this adventure people thing because first of all, the guy who lived across the street from me, he had all the adventure people. I had like a plane and a Daredevil sport plane and a Daredevil pilot that piloted that plane. And I think I had like maybe a spaceman and his little moon buggy or whatever. And that's all I had. But I played with them over at his house, and we interchanged them with Star Wars action figures because they were all the same scale. So I'm kind of into that now. So that's where I'm at this point.
I'm glad you mentioned Star Wars because that's something I failed to mention in my childhood or even adult collecting. I don't collect Star Wars figures. I don't have any. Lyric again picked that up for me because he was into them, and so he played with them and things. But as a child, I had a few Star Wars figures. I think I had C-3PO, I had Obi-Wan, I had like Episode 4 Luke, a Darth Vader, and I think that was about it. Or Stormtrooper. I had the Biker Scout. I really liked that the Star Wars figures had the little button you could push where the vehicle would like blow apart. I thought that was a really cool play feature for it. It wasn't something that I gotten into again with the adult money, and I think somebody mentioned oversaturation earlier. I think it was George or maybe Briscoe, one of the
George.
George,
the Master Universe was oversaturated was the reason we were. No, in my case, it's just that I got what I wanted.
Right. Well, really, to me, the Masters of the Universe, maybe they're oversaturated. You know what's really oversaturated? Star Wars. Like there's just so much of it, and then so much of it that I have no respect or love for.
Well, we just found out how much money they wasted on the Acolyte, and it was a lot more than what they admitted to.
Of course,
a lot more.
Of course,
and it really hurt the brand to the point where they decided to release the Mandalorian Grogu as a movie instead of as a third series of Mandalorian, and nobody gives a shit. All that Star Wars crap that they put out is in Ollie's and Ross Dress for Less. It's because nobody wanted to buy it. I'm afraid Star Wars as a brand for people don't want that. They want action figures from the original trilogy.
No, I agree.
And I'm kind of through. Yeah, Star Wars is a dead brand now, says Briscoe. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm through. I'm not into collecting any more Star Wars than what little that I already have.
Yeah, and I'm not interested in having any. And Lyric has a few, and he's got the Lego sets. The Lego sets are really cool. Like Lyric's got the Millennium Falcon, he's got the TIE Fighter, and he's got an X-Wing. So he's even got everything he wants. I think he's even got a set that recreates the trash compactor scene, and you could actually push it together and have one. And he's got Han, he's got Chewie, he's got Leia, he's got R2, he's got C-3PO. So he's got all the classic, and Lyric, he's my son, and he of course has his own mind and his own opinions, but he's also greatly influenced by the thoughts and opinions of his father. And when me and Lyric sit and watch Star Wars, we're watching the old stuff. We're not watching any of this new crap. We're watching the 1980, 1977, the stuff from my childhood. And what I find funny, my sister's kid, so my nephew, he got really into Star Wars. We're on family vacation, and my sister tells him, "Oh, Uncle Anthony loves Star Wars. You know, he watches it all the time. You need to sit with Uncle Anthony and watch Star Wars." And so we sat and you know, I was trying to keep the kid quiet and keep him entertained. You know, which I'm pretty good at. You know, so I got a little drink and a little snack, and we sat down on the couch, and he was showing me the Star Wars he was watching, which is all this kind of newer stuff. And I was like, "Well, have you seen this one?" And at first he was like, no, I don't know that one. I don't want that one. And it was the original series, you know? And I'm like, well, let's give it a try. If you don't like it, I'll watch yours. We put that one on. Man, that kid didn't blink. He didn't move. He didn't go to the bathroom. He didn't speak. He watched the original. As soon as the thing hit the screen and the big ship came by, the little one, and you just see the.
Yeah.
Like, no, Miles. But, yeah, he was in. He was in. And it was like he didn't even complain or, you know, and then later when he went back home and my sister called me and she goes, "Which was the Star Wars movie you put on for Miles? He won't stop talking about it. He doesn't want to watch the ones he used to watch. He wants to watch the one that Uncle Anthony had." And so
the original one, baby, the original one.
Right. And it's funny because I didn't tell him to think that. I didn't tell him to say that. I didn't tell him to feel that way. I just was sharing with him what I loved. And he organically is now gravitating to the older ones. And it's funny because that's a kid who should like what's new and what's cutting edge, and they don't. You know what I mean? They do when they don't know there's a better option, you know.
Well, see, now you're talking about Star Wars and talking about the original trilogy and the original episodes. I got my hands on from I don't know what you want to call it, bootleg company, but I got my hands on the despecialized Star Wars trilogy. And the very first episode is even really despecialized, because when I played that and the opening crawl started up, it didn't say episode 4 A New Hope at the top at all.
It said Star Wars.
It didn't even say that. It just started telling you what was going on, like it did in the original, the one I went to when I was a kid, what I saw on the screen. I remember when the videotape came out, and I went to my buddy's house. He said, "Oh, we got Star Wars on videotape. We can watch it." And I saw the opening crawl, and I'm a kid. I'm going, that it didn't say that up at the top.
Right.
When, you know,
yeah, my friends didn't believe me either when I told them that.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, but anyway, yeah. And let's see, we got blame Canada. It's not a real country anyway. Hey, I'm just German. Blame me, blame Kenny. All right. All right, y'all behave. And they're talking G.I. Joe over there. I collected G.I. Joe when I was a kid, but I've got a few classified, very few classified, but I'm not into collecting that.
I'm probably going to upset your audience here a little, Bill, but I have no love for G.I. Joe. I never really collected it as a kid, and I don't really care for it as an adult. I hardly watch the cartoon, and I know very little about it. I think I know like 4 characters in the whole thing, and I probably watched 2 episodes.
I was big into the comics, the Larry Hama comics from Marvel. I got the very first issue of that off the newsstand when it came out, fell in love with it, and collected it for 50 issues. I even had a subscription through Marvel to it, so it came in the mail to my house. No one actually listened to that all those years ago, says Briscoe. And Jeff says that he knew that you didn't collect G.I. Joe. Yeah, just like you don't collect turtles. So yeah, there we go. But
Yeah, but
yeah,
I've actually can say I've watched a couple episodes of the GI Joe, or I know some of the characters. I don't know if Jeff can make that same claim.
I think that Jeff puts on a whole lot of show when it comes to that, but I think he knows a little more than he makes out like he does.
Probably.
Just saying. But yeah, I like the comic books, and I got all of the first, most of the first wave of GI Joes that were featured in that first issue of the comic book, and that's kind of where I stopped at. But yeah, and Briscoe says I was collecting classifieds, but when they released Serpentor, and I missed out on it twice, I gave up. That's happened to you before, not with that, but with other lines where you couldn't get what you wanted, and you just gave up.
Yep, that happened with superpowers for me. I wanted Bizarro from the McFarlane Superpower line, and I already missed out on Black Mana. And then they re-released him in black instead of blue, which I thought, you know what, that works. He's black mana, not blue mana. So I can deal with that. And then I had Bizarro pre-ordered, I want to say through Entertainment Earth. And then I got an email saying, well, you know, you're just not getting him. And that was it. It's just canceled. It's not happening. Done. And he, of course, they're sold out on McFarlane's site like almost instantly. And I went and checked Big Bad, and he was gone from there too. And then I checked the eBay, and then I thought, you know what? Do I even care anymore? And after some 4-second soul searching, I realized I don't. And I was just like, you know, I think I'm just. And since then, I've put it all in a box. It's actually over there in the for sale pile. The entirety of that McFarlane.
Really?
I've got the Beetle thing, the Batmobile, the Bat plane, the super, all of it sitting there in a box, ready to go.
So you're just saying to hell with it.
Yeah, but that was where that DC hole I was talking about. Whereas, and so then I was gonna, because I wanted some DC representation in the toy collection.
Right.
So I was going to go with the Super Friends, and then they, you know, you hear the McFarlane lost the license, and it was going to go back to Mattel or whatever. And so I don't know what the future of that line looks like, or if I'm even going to get all I want out of it. I did see, and maybe Jeff can answer this for me. The Batman 66 line seems to scale with that, so I might be able to, you know, pick up a Robin and an Alfred, or, you know, King Tut, or whoever that I think I need, you know, to go with that. Joker, you know.
George Valentine says another dead brand is Star Trek, and that hurts. Yeah, Star Trek's gone, man. They killed that just as deader than a doornail.
Oh, there we go. There's my answer.
Yeah, all 6-inch, bro.
Because I wasn't sure if they were going to do Robin, which I can't do this if I do. We got to have Robin, you know.
He's got the line until mid 2026, so I'm pretty sure that he's got this all planned out.
Okay.
George says he wishes they had a good Thundercats line.
I liked Thundercats. I watched a lot more of the cartoon than I collected of the toy. I think I had a Lion-O and a Mumra, and maybe like the Vulture guy. I can't even remember his name.
Yeah.
And the Jackal Man. And I realized at that time, because the toy market was so saturated then, and I realized you can't collect He-Man, Ghostbusters, Ninja Turtles, and Thundercat. One of these things has got to go. And so Thundercats didn't make the cut.
Yeah, and that's another thing, a good point that you brought up. You can't collect everything. Not unless you're like super freaking rich, and I'm not.
Right.
So I have to pick and choose what I'm going for. So, you know, and I can't get everything at once. And that's kind of the beauty of collecting something vintage, because you go to eBay and you look until you find a decent one, and you put a bid on it if it's for sale, or if it's got a buy now, you decide whether you want to spend that much for it or not, or give the guy an offer and see what happens. And you play that game.
Right.
And that's part of the fun of collecting is playing that game. And that game right there is kind of like toy hunting, because toy hunts are over, folks. I hate to say that, but toy hunting is not what it used to be. It certainly isn't for me anyway, especially with nothing in Walmart and very little in Target that I care to get anymore. You know, I think the last real thing that I toy hunted for was when I got the Kaiju Slime Battle Kaiju, which we played with here on the channel a couple of weeks ago, you know.
Well, I'm probably going to upset your audience again here, but toy hunting is not dead for someone like me. But the reason I do it is completely going to piss all you guys off, because I'm not interested in buying anything for me. I'm scalping, man. I'm the guy going in there, pulling them off the thing, putting them in my store and marking them up. You know, and I'm soulless. I don't care. I will wipe your little tears while you call me a scalper with my money. You know, it's all good. It doesn't bother me, and that just is what it is. Because it's don't hate the player, hate the game, hate the market, hate the way that the toy company made this the way it is. That's just business, and it sucks that that's how it's got to be. But it is what it is. You know, I am in business trying to sell comic books and toys, and, you know, you're in business to make money. Well, what's the best way to make money? You buy a valuable item cheap and you sell it high. How do you do that? Scalp.
Yeah, well,
you know, that's how
I think you misinterpreted what I was talking about when I was talking about toy hunting. Yeah, toy hunting, I used to take the camera in the store and hunt the toy and find the toy.
A few of your videos where you did that, yeah.
That's done with, dude. That's over.
Well, it's all the same video. Everybody goes and expresses their disappointment, and if you're lucky, they might find something in the video where you can hear that excitement, where they're happy and they found the thing they were looking for. Like that, to me, is the best part. Like if you ever, because again, I go to the store and I don't buy just for the business. I buy for me too, because I'm a fan too.
Yeah.
You know, and when I find something that I'm excited about or looking for, that's awesome. But that almost never happens because everything's a pre-order world now. And everything that I want, I get on pre-order unless it's some dang exclusive to Target or something.
I've got a couple of things that I've got pre-ordered that's supposed to have been here already, but they're not. I think that Mezco 5 Points Batman stuff, Batman the movie, 89 movie Batman stuff. Where's that at, Mezco? Mezco.
I can tell you as a Mezco connoisseur, here's what you do with your Mezco. You order it and then forget you ordered it. And sometime in a year or two, you'll get it.
Briscoe says I need to make a song called Scalper Jonezer now. I think I might just do that.
I think you should talk to your little AI friends and come up with your little thing. Poke your little fun at me. My only request for the song is to have the part where the people are making fun of me for being a scalper and I'm wiping my tears with the money. That should be in there.
I'll keep all this in mind. It's fodder that I can use. But yes, and I noticed that I got $1.99 super chat tonight, and actually that was a super sticker, and it was from Susudio, and I appreciate that, Susudio, if you're still there. Here's the thing, folks. Until I can get something better situation than what I've got going on here, I may have, in order to do a show with Jonezer, I may have to get a subscription to StreamYard, which is extremely expensive. It's a year subscription. What we were looking at that was about $450, right?
Yeah. I was a little, especially with dusting off my resume at the moment.
Yeah, you don't. I don't expect Jonezer even to put money in for this. But in order for me to do that, I'm not going to be able to afford to do that. When I have Jonezer on the show, I've got to use the StreamYard. And here's the thing: I with the used to even with the free StreamYard, you could at least show a video. I can't even do that now on here. So I can't do commercials. I can't do music videos. I can't do shit over here on StreamYard until I get a subscription, and it will allow me to do a little bit of extra over here. So any help that I can get from you folks, appreciate it. Right now, I'm getting much closer to a new computer, but I want to get something that will work, and so I'm still about $1,000 away from what I want to get.
Well, and here's the thing, though. Like, as far as this right here, with us talking about what we're talking about, this is the first time I think I've been able to actually have a fluid conversation with you on the show and it not be just painful.
Well, I think the last time we did it on StreamYard, it was like this, and you enjoyed it as well. And was no bill. Let's view through what you have. I offered before, but my German friends would love to help with that. We'll see. We'll see. But like I said, we're going until we can get another computer to so that everything doesn't freeze up. I mean, it's like resources were gone suddenly, and my browsers were just. What do we got here? Stu Studio super sticker for $49, $52. Thank you, Stu Studio. We appreciate that super sticker there. Yes, but yeah, that's what it's going to take in order for me to use OBS, and OBS is just to the point where I just don't know if I can do it by myself, but if I want to have any guests on or anything like that, I've got to use this.
Well, and we can talk about this after the show and offline, but I got a few ideas.
Okay. Yeah, they're still talking about, I guess, Serpentor there.
Oh, for the G.I. Joe. And see, okay, I can't relate to it in the G.I. Joe sense, but I can tell you this, because you talked about Mezco, and then they're talking about you miss a figure and you kind of, I'm done with it. I was doing those Dick Tracy Mezcos out there. Friggin' awesome, but they're friggin' expensive. And if you miss it on the secondary market, it's unaffordable. And, and what I mean by unaffordable is it's like, are you going to pay, $300-400 for you might as well get a Mondo thing, it's just ridiculous. Well, I missed the blank. I was on family vacation. The pre-order thing came up, and just like anything, if you're not on in the first 10-15 minutes, it was gone. And I think the website crashed 3 times on people. It was just really bad. And of course, Mezco, no word, no apologies, no nothing. No, we'll catch you next time. We're going to do a re-release. No information. Just everybody's in the dark. Few people got one. It was a total shit show. And then I signed up for the wait list, right?
Yeah.
And about a year and a half later, all of a sudden I got an email. You have been updated. My wait list is updated. I'm getting a figure. And anybody that had signed up for that wait list at that time, it went through if you stayed on it and waited it out. And so if you have something ordered on Mezco, you were mentioning those Batman figures, if it's telling you're live, you're getting an order, you're going to get one, because it's telling you you're going to get one. Here's my review of Mezco and their customer experience. Now, communication, F. Follow through, F. Pre-order, F. The experience, F. In every way, this thing sucks. But where they nail it, they are A+++++++++++++ is in the only measurable way that matters. When you actually get the damn thing, it's the coolest thing that you've ever had. But you had to go through a flaming hole and get shot out of a cannon to get it. Oh, look at that.
14 pesos. Super sticker. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
That was very generous. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. And Susudio is the crying emoji here. I'm not sure why. It could be because we no longer play some of the music.
Oh, Stinkor. Yeah, we can't do any music or any commercials or anything with this setup, but you can actually see and hear us, and Bill won't disappear, and you won't have to be stuck with me.
Yeah. If they're going to be selling figures on their website, they need to give everyone a chance to get one and give people like a week or at least a weekend to get it. Yeah, I agree. And it's the same thing with Mattel Creations. It's the same thing with Hasbro Plus. Shit going up there, selling out in a couple of minutes. Some bitches in the damn bathroom at work on their fucking phone trying to order this shit. And yeah, that is frustrating.
We've all said they should just have an open pre-order and just like kind of like Mattel Creations did, I think, for was it Wondar and Grizzlor? They just opened it up for a weekend, and you could order however many you wanted, and then they'd closed it, and then what was it, 6-9 months later, you got your figure. I don't know why they don't just do that for everything, because if you're a company and you're trying to make money, wouldn't you want to sell as many of them as you can? And then the other risk is if you overproduce, as we've seen with certain figures where they become peg warmers or go to the clearance rack, you overproduce some, like looking at you, Eternals, overproduce something nobody wanted, and you're losing money on that. Well, here's a great way to get a measuring stick on the market. You put that pre-order up open for a weekend and you see how many go. And if you've got some sideline thing with Walmart or Target, you can gauge the enthusiasm of that pre-order and see how many you might want to produce for your, giant retail market. I don't know why they don't. You know what? I am in the market. I'm looking for a job. Mattel, if you're watching, or Hasbro, you need me. I will fix this.
And Sir Clifton here says, hang in there. Don't get discouraged. Nothing wrong with relying on StreamYard just for guests. True. I don't mind relying on StreamYard just for guests, but here's the thing. I know Jonezer told me that this isn't true, but I'm stuck in it. Part of the reason I know you guys like to watch the show is some of the shit that I show you, such as music and fun, such as vintage commercials, and having a great intro, great outro, and stuff like that. I can't do that over here unless I get a subscription to it. So it's either, what is it? I'm 30 something bucks a month, or you get a year subscription to it.
Let me interject here, though. Most of your show is this part. The memes, the intro, the outro, all that goes smooth as silk. And then when you get to this part, and then you do your commercial. And it's like, this is the meat and potatoes of the show. This part needs to be smooth. That other stuff, that's the icing on the cake. That's the filler. I mean, it's cool and it's good, but, that's not the show.
That's true. I mean, I agree with you there, but like I said, like tonight, I mean, we've gone about an hour, and that's about what we normally do with us bantering. And then the other 30 minutes or to an hour is the other stuff. We're not going to do that tonight, but and I kind of wanted you guys to look at the commercials because I really did get a good selection of commercials.
Well, here's what you do when we close this out. You start another live stream on your other thing and you play the commercials.
I'm not going to do that. Too much trouble. And look, I'm really surprised that everybody came back. I mean, about 30 people watching here. Same with troop building. Sell them for a few years, take them off for a couple of years to build anticipation, and then again release them in Fusion. Here's the thing, Briscoe, and I'm going to go back to Adventure People again. Adventure People didn't come out in waves. Adventure People, yes, there were sets that were released later on that weren't released in the original sets. But they continued producing the sets that they produced in 1975 all the way into 1984 when the line ended. You could still buy the Safari set in 1984 and it came out in 1975. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't do toys like that anymore.
No.
The Star Wars action figures do the same thing. Just because Empire Strikes Back came out, they didn't stop selling Farm Boy Luke. They might have changed it to say Empire Strikes Back at the top of the card, but that figure was still available on the shelf when you went into the store and looked for figures. They don't do that anymore. When the wave is over, you're fucked if you didn't get it when it was out. So yeah.
One thing what Briscoe's talking about with troop builders, he was really this is kind of a rant of my own. There are a lot of things, you know, that you want to see, like the Sentinels for the X-Men. You see the Sentinel there. You're gonna want more than one Sentinel, you know, because when you see the thing, they're surrounded by Sentinels. Foot soldiers for the Ninja Turtles. That is the hardest, most expensive turtle figure to get. Are those darn foot soldiers. I think they're like 30, 40 bucks on the secondary market, even without.
I remember when you were looking for them, and I was looking for. I never saw them. I never saw a damn single one.
I found one, and I don't know why they wouldn't do like an open pre-order of foot soldiers, kind of like Motu did with these. This one's got a busted leg, but they got these guys. You know, and we could get
that's one of those. That's one of those skeleton warriors, isn't it?
Yes, or these guys. You know, you can get. I think they're still available. Both of those.
Oh, they are. They are. I got a couple of them because I was doing the horde for the thing. I got a couple of these guys, and they're cheap. They're I think they're about half price over there on Big Bad.
Yeah, so Masters of the Universe really nailed this, or even the Eternian Guard too. You can get, you know, a bunch of
those guys are still available too. They're still available.
So Masters of the Universe really I give them an A+ on their army building availability and for people to do that. And I bet they sold a crap ton of them, and I bet they still do. Whereas the Turtles, I'm giving an F-, because you can't get these dang foot soldiers. And I've seen videos where people have like a dozen of them. I'm like, man, I want that. And I know if they were to like do an open over the weekend, open foot soldier order, they'd sell thousands of them, tens of thousands of them. Right. People would be ordering them a dozen at a time. I know I would.
I'm going to put this up here because it touched me. Not that one. Sorry. And yes, nobody has forgotten you, Sir Clifton. Just so you know that we all know that you're still there, and we're all waiting with bated breath to see what you're going to come up with next.
100%.
Rolo says, I subscribe to Bill and to the inspector. He's talking about you, Jonezer. And my friends here, and not to some fancy live programs. I appreciate that, Rolo. I do. Now, Jonezer, I'm going to give you a full screen because I've got to go and take care of some business, if you know what I mean, and I'll be right back.
Man about a horse. Bill's going to go see the man about a horse here, but I'm going to get back on that army builder rant. I don't know why these toy companies, if they want money, why you wouldn't just open that up, you know, and you would. How do they not know? Like, do they not have like a research and development, or do they not talk to the fans, or do they not? Like, it's like they just. I don't know how they don't know, because you would think that would be, hey, what toy should we produce that would make the most money, you know, or what we would sell the most of? Well, God, and I'm sure not one moron in that boardroom is thinking, oh, the foot soldier, you know, thinking, oh, let's do another variant of the Turtles again, because, you know, we haven't done that too many times, and we haven't watched those peg warm forever. And then when they do something like that and the thing does peg warm forever, they just go, well, it's fatigue. They don't want turtle stuff. No, we do. We just want the stuff that we're not getting. You know, and I don't know how available the I'm sure GI Joe probably does Army Builders. I don't know how available the Cobra Troopers are or whatnot, but the fans want this stuff. Like these Sentinels too. I had the big ones, but there's these video game variety ones like this. Man, that was up and that was sold out and gone. Like blink twice, you know, and there are a lot of people who wanted these, and then they didn't get them. And I guarantee you, if they were to open this back up again and put that up, they'd sell thousands of them because that's what people want to do. They want to play their toys or display their toys like an adult, you know, as we don't play with them, right? You know, and,
we do.
You know, but you know, you want them to look like how the comic book or the cartoon or the movie or whatever you enjoyed the thing from looked. And the turtles don't fight one foot soldier; they fight an army of them. The X-Men don't fight one sentinel; they fight hundreds of them. You know, so you want the display or the play to reflect that.
Kind of going through the chat here, kind of highlighting all the chat that I missed while I was at the toilet. I think you still have control over this, don't you, Jonezer? Like you used to?
I don't think so. And if I do, I forgot how to do anything StreamYard.
Okay. Well, Black Phoenix, Alex, good to see you, sir. He says, I don't understand why Mattel won't reissue the stuff that's hard to get. Scare Glow, Mutant Merman. Come on, what are they doing? I don't understand that either.
I think it's ignorance. I think there's just nobody in that boardroom that has their finger on the pulse of the fan. What they should do is they should have an open dialogue. Again, I'm looking for a job, Mattel. I'm looking for a job there. Hasbro, hire me. I will be your person. I will go on to Facebook and I'll be like, hey, nerds, what do you want us to make? Let us know in the chat.
Yeah, you would think that they would have their hand on that pulse.
Right.
Don't.
No, they don't even. They think they know better than you. You know, which is foolish. You know, as who
well,
better than
I don't know. That's the same reason why Cracker Barrel Old Country Store decided to take Uncle Herschel off the sign and take all that cool shit out of the store and repaint the inside white and put some plastic crap on the wall.
Right.
That didn't work out too well for them either. That's why Star Wars is a dead brand right now. It's because they wanted to change the audience.
Right. The Witcher on Netflix. That's a great example.
Oh, yeah.
Where they ruin that.
The people that you're aiming for are not watching your shit anyway, and they're not going to.
Right. What they want is then
you drive away the people that were watching it that were giving you all their money. Now you're not making shit.
They want the thing to look like the thing they love. Not or even they think they did that Cowboy Bebop, which I was not a fan of that, or I did not watch it, or I wasn't aware of it. But a friend of mine was, and he was real excited for it to come out. And then when he saw it, he was like, this was an abysmal pile of cat crap. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same old story over and over and over again. But yeah, I don't know. And I wonder if Mattel canceled the fan favorite re-release. They didn't. They did a few fan favorite re-releases. I got
Cyclops, She-Ra, Orko. There was a few of them that came back out.
But
in fact, I think most of them are still available on Big Bad. So maybe they overdid the fan favorite thing. They probably stepped out too far, and because probably a lot of people had already. I know Lyric really wanted a Trap Jaw, and his mom overpaid on the secondary market just because she wanted to get him one because he wanted one. And so yeah, I think a lot of people did that, and then they re-release it a couple years later, and then
here's what he meant. They haven't done any new fan favorite re-releases. In other words, some of the other stuff that's hard to find, like Scareglow, for instance, hasn't been re-released as a fan release. Well, part of that is what I think what Jonezer was talking about. Maybe they overdid it with the first fan releases, and you know how the boardroom thinks, hey, that we did fan re-releases and it didn't do well, so we're not going to do that again. You know how they do.
Yeah. No, then again, I think they just don't know what they're doing or what they're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. Sir Clifton says, well, he's about going out of the toys coming to his house. He's got 3 pre-orders left to go. Not going into a lot of detail here. Not enough characters allowed here. I will be around, Rolo, just not on the Attorney and Ellipse channel. I understand that, and I haven't, and I'm not going to tip my mitt, but I kind of know what he's up to over there. So, and you probably do too. But
I read the
stay tuned. Stay tuned, folks. It might be something that you're interested in. You never know.
Yeah, I read the chats in our little group. I think there's a couple of them that I frequent, and I don't always get in there, but I'll scroll through and I kind of read what people are saying or what they're doing. And when I'm not too busy, I might get in and get out. But I've been reading what people are throwing out there.
And what he's referring to is the member chat that we have over on Instagram, which if you're not a part of and you're not a member of the channel, you could be a part of it if you became a member of the channel for just as low price as $3 a month, which is pretty cheap, I think. It's less than even a cup of coffee nowadays. And you could, and that's just once a month there. And most people buy a cup of coffee every day for $5 or more at freaking Starbucks. So, hey.
$8.
Oh, there you go. $8 a day. So you're spending $8 a day and you can't give me $3 a month. Come on, guys. But anyway, yeah. If you're over on the Instagram, contact me and say, hey, I'm a member of the channel now, Bill. I'll throw you in to the member chat and you can see all this stuff that the members talk about and be able to talk to me and Jonezer personally.
Bill more than me. I pop in and I pop out and I'm out a lot more than I'm in.
Now I only come on once or twice a day. I can't do it all day long while I'm at work.
But there are plenty of people on there keeping that thing rolling, and there is a lot of fun to be had.
Oh, there is. And I will tell you, you like memes of the week? Well, if you like really, really horrendous, dirty, nasty memes, there's plenty of that shit going on over there. Thank you, Mike Fee.
Yeah, we're looking at you, Mike.
That nasty, gross fingers and crap like that. That was gross.
You'd think for a toy chat, it'd be a little cleaned up.
I told him about that, but he insists upon putting that crap up, which is, I guess that's, he gets it out of his system. I get it, you know.
Funny stuff.
Absolutely.
Well, this thing started off pretty off the rails, but I do feel like we recovered nicely. I believe most, if not all, the audience came in for the boomerang.
We still got 14 people watching, which is pretty good for nowadays.
Yeah, so yeah, I think we recovered nice. I hope you feel better about it. I know you were pretty upset when this first went down.
Well, I feel a lot better. I appreciate my audience. You guys have really shown me the love tonight. I appreciate that. I appreciate Sue Studios 2 super stickers. I appreciate Rolo's super sticker tonight. They really help. These help. They help the channel going straight into doing something new and being able to get this channel going. And yes, but I'm kind of bummed I wasn't able to show you the memes that I curated this week. I wasn't able to show you the commercials I curated for this week. And we didn't do any music and fun. Susudia says she's going to have to go. I have to get up early. Well, it's in her dad's in the hospital. Everybody put a prayer emoji in for Susudio's dad.
You, Susu.
But yeah, we appreciate you, Susudio, and I think it's about time to wrap things up. So, Jonezer, do you have any final thoughts?
It's kind of funny. The thing started a little off the rails. I feel like it had to burn in hell before we recovered it. I am glad to have been vindicated because when we put it back on, Bill was pretty down, and I don't think I was a very good friend to him in that moment because my defense mechanism was just to laugh. So I'm just sitting here laughing, having a good old time while my buddy's upset. And so I hope that didn't bother you too much. I didn't mean to, but I was right, because when we got back on, it was just me and him and nobody. And he's like, well, we'll just see if anybody even comes. And I was like, they will all come. Everybody. And then they all did.
Correct. All right. Well, I'm going to sum up everything that we talked about tonight. All right. Tonight we've been talking about changes, life changes, things like that, and job changes, collecting changes. I know Jonezer's looking at a new gig. I've got some crazy hours coming down the pike, and Master Universal Origins looks like it's about run its course. Superpower starting to wind down. But here's the thing. That doesn't mean that the adventure stops. Hell, I've been diving into the vintage Fisher-Price adventure people, grabbing a few old comics here or there, and just enjoying the hunt in a new direction. Collecting isn't about chasing every wave that comes out. It's about having fun with what you've got and finding joy in the stuff that speaks to you. Just because we're not picking up certain toy lines anymore doesn't mean that we've stopped playing. The toys are still here. The stories are still here. And honestly, so is the fun. So here's the real heart of this community. No matter what you're collecting, or even if you're just hanging out with us for nostalgia, we're all in this together. And as always, keep on collecting and stay fantastic. We'll see you next time on Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. In the meantime, have a good journey. And that's it.